Hey everyone, it's Ottawa Tech Media. Welcome back to my channel. Today we will be unboxing and also reviewing the SmallRig mini V-mount battery. The specific model that I got is the VB99. What we'll be doing is an unboxing as well as talk about some of its key features and also talk about what it comes with and also what it has to offer and the different applications that we can use this battery for. So the first thing that we're going to go ahead and do is unbox and see what the actual battery looks like. Let's dive into the unboxing now. As you can see, the battery comes in a simple but sturdy cardboard box with the SmallRig logo right here at the top. Inside the box, let's take a look what we have. Just slide up the top. First thing we have is a manual, and we also have some stickers, which is pretty cool. So you have different stickers. So you can see some of those stickers right here. So it's pretty cool that SmallRig decided to include that as well. Kind of like the Apple sticker approach. And then finally, that's pretty much it. All we have left is the battery itself. So taking the battery out of the box, my first impression is how small and lightweight it is. It weighs about 1 pound, which is approximately 30% smaller than the traditional V-mount batteries that are out there. I don't have major ones that I can list off the top of my head, but from other batteries that I've seen online, it is about 30% smaller. So you can kind of think of it like, I think traditional V-mount batteries are about the size of this cardboard box itself. So it's definitely a lot smaller and compact when compared to other traditional V-mount batteries that are used in large cameras and also light systems that I've seen out there. The battery dimensions are 4 inches by 2.8 inches and 2 inches deep. So it's 4 inches long, 2.8 inches wide right here, and then it's about 2 inches thick right here. So it's not a big battery for sure. And then for size comparison, I actually have a Sony NP battery that we can put side by side and actually take a look and see how big this battery is. And this Sony battery is one of their larger ones. So this is the NP F960 and F970. So this is a pretty beefy battery. But when put next to the actual V-mount battery from SmallRig, it's not too big, and you can see in my hand how it fits in the palm of my hand right here. So this is the iPhone 14 that we can compare it against, and you can see it's really small, compared to the phone. So this is not going to add too much weight to your setup, I don't think. And I think it's going to fit nicely if you have different camera rigs. It's not going to add too much weight to it. So the build quality feels pretty solid. Obviously, it is made out of plastic. It's not metal. So with that said, the build quality is still pretty good. They do include some ridges on the side here that make it easier to handle the battery itself. So it's not something that's going to slip out of your hand. And the different ports you can tell. So the different ports like the D-tap. See if I can get this open. So I'll open this one. So you can see this is made out of rubber. So it seals it up pretty nice. I wouldn't say it's weather sealed, but I think for the most part it's pretty well protected. All right. So the next thing that we're going to do is actually take a closer look at the ports and buttons on the battery. On one side we have the V-mount connection that attaches to your camera or other devices. So even SmallRig itself, they actually make different plates that you can use to actually attach this V-mount batteries on. If your camera actually comes with a V-mount plate itself, then you can just simply put this on there. It has a connection at the bottom, as you can see, and then you're good to go. So you don't even need a V-mount plate. So we do have the V-mount connection itself. Next to it, we also have on this side the D-tap output for powering additional accessories. As you can see here, different accessories and a USB port. on the top here. So you have two USB ports. You have the USB-C that offers bidirectional charging, of course, and then you also have USB-A. You do have two barrel inputs, different voltages. We'll talk more about those a little later. And then you do have the power button on the side right here. And of course, lastly, you do have an OLED screen in the front that tells you your, let me see if this has a little juice. So it does have some juice. I would recommend the first time you get this, I would charge it and just make sure it's at 100%, as I typically do with all of my other devices that I buy. So, you know, you can see the charge percentage right there, and also includes other things like we might be able to see it later. I don't have a USB device that I can hook into this, but it actually tells you, you know, how much power each particular port is providing in this display from the reviews that I've seen. So definitely has a lot of inputs that you can utilize with different devices like lights or cameras or you know, field monitors for your cameras. So let me talk a little bit about the build quality itself. So I did discover that the actual case itself is actually made out of polycarbonate material that is heat resistant as well as fireproof, which provides protection while charging. So that's definitely good to hear, especially, you know, if you're using this a lot and also traveling with it. It's good knowing that it's made out of pretty safe material that and also has some additional safe features that we'll talk a little bit about later. Inside the pack, there are a total of four 3500 milliamp lithium batteries. So if we were to, you know, open this up, I don't suggest that you do, but you'll be able to see four 3500 milliamp lithium batteries that are powering this device itself. Right, so let's go in depth into each one of these inputs that we have here. So let's talk about the two barrel inputs that we looked at. So we have an 8-volt out as well as 12-volt output barrel inputs. I think you can use these for different things like your field monitor, as well as other devices that allow you to hook up a barrel connection to. So it's pretty neat that they included two. So depending on your device, you'll be able to pick out, you know, either the 8-volt one or the 12-volt one and power your device that way. For the V-mount itself, for this right here, it allows for 14.8 volts and 14 amps max output for both the V-mount as well as the D-tap output. This particular battery is bidirectional, meaning you can actually charge this either by V-mount as well as by USB-C. I think it's going to be a lot easier to just charge it by USB-C. I'm probably going to use my iPad charger to charge this. The iPad charger comes with a 20-watt fast charger, so I think I'll be able to get away with that. And, you know, might be a little slower charging, but, you know, that's okay. That's the only thing that I have on hand right now. As you notice, it does not come with any chargers. That would have been something that would have been cool that if SmallRig were to include, but nevertheless, it's okay. I'm sure we have some chargers laying around, like if you have an iPad or an actual iPhone fast charger, you can use that with this. So you can charge it by USB-C, but make sure if you do buy a fast charger, make sure it is rated for up to 65 watts of power delivery, such as the USB-C Nano 2 65-watt charger from like Anker that I was able to see when checking on Amazon. So that is something you can use for this. So let's talk a little bit about some of its internal specs for the VB lineup. So the VB lineup is equipped with what's called the BMS, which is the Battery Management System Intelligent Chip. So this is actually one of their safety features as well, because, you know, with lithium batteries, you do want to make sure that you buy batteries that include a lot of these safety features to prevent things like fires from taking place. I've seen a lot of videos where different lithium batteries, even when charging, were basically set on fire, but, you know, by themselves. So you don't want to burn down your house or, you know, possibly cause an injury, and possibly even worse. So you want to make sure you buy batteries that do include some safety features. So this battery management system that is included in this battery itself, as well as possibly other batteries, but more specifically talking about SmallRig, it monitors temperatures across the pack, so the 3 lithium batteries that we talked about earlier, and opens and closes various valves to maintain the temperature of the overall battery within a narrow temperature range to ensure optimal battery performance. So it does 2 things. So it makes sure that you're charging your battery safely. The battery is able to charge itself safely and efficiently to preserve the safety of the battery, of course, as well as to make sure the longevity of the battery. Technology, the BMS smart chip, it allows the battery to support an array of different fast charging protocols. So this will range from things like PD or power delivery, QC or quick charging, supercharged protocol or SCP, and also programmable power supply or PPS, and Apple 2.4 amp charging. There's some additional protocols that it also supports. Now this includes both for DTAP that we have here, as well as the USB ports. So you can plug in a wide array of devices, ranging even from like laptops. The USB-C allows, I believe, 45 watts of fast charging. So you can charge your laptop, you can charge phones, you can charge your actual camera. What I plan to use this, and the main reason why I got this is actually to charge my camera, which is a Sony a7 IV. The internal battery that it comes with, it's a pretty good battery. It lasts about an hour of continuous 4K recording. But if we include this, where you can just simply take a USB cord from the USB-C output and hook it to your camera, if it supports it, it's going to get continuous charging. So what you can do is leave the battery in the camera, plug this in a rig setup, hook it up to the camera itself. So it's going to allow you to have, but I want to say, I think it runs for about 4 hours. I would have to test it, but from reviews that I've seen, this battery runs for about 4 hours if you don't have other devices hooked up to it, of course. But yeah, that's pretty neat, especially for cases where you do continuous shooting, like interviews or things like that. That's why I want to use this battery, because I've noticed, you would have to constantly swap out different batteries. So you want to make sure that you have more than one battery if you're in a scenario where you're doing interviews, where you have interviews going on for hours. So this will come in handy where you don't have to do that swapping approach. And another reason too is, so with the Sony a7 IV camera, it does have an issue that I ran into where, hours of recording, like interviews or something like that, I've noticed that there's a possibility that you're going to run into an overheating issue, and one of the contributors to that is the battery itself. So when you're going on an hour of continuous recording, the battery actually heats up itself, which will heat up the internal body of the camera, and then the internal sensors will pick that up and actually shut down your camera to prevent it from overheating. There's different settings that you can actually play around with to prevent, or not prevent it, but actually prolong the time it takes for the actual camera to reach that threshold. But I'm thinking that by including an external battery like this and powering the camera through USB-C, that I'll be able to kind of at least alleviate the potential of the battery inside the body of the camera from heating up and contributing into the overheating issue that I saw during my last shoot. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and also subscribe to my channel for more reviews and tutorials. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions regarding this battery, as well as other things like the Sony a7 IV and my experiences with it. So hit me up if you have any questions at all. Thanks for watching and have a great day.